my business without doubling my workload, which is ultimately what we want, right? You want more money in your business without having to do more things, without having to spend more hours in it. Because more than likely, you started your business for some sort of time freedom, right? You didn't necessarily start it to work more hours than you already are. So let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're watching, where you're watching from. We're going to dive right in. I'm excited to talk about this today because, again, it's one of my favorite topics. I'm looking to see if it actually is working on Facebook. Doesn't look like it is. I really got to figure out this whole Riverside. I got a new software, and obviously I don't know how to use it, but we're here. Let's do it. If it happens to show up on Facebook, amazing. If it doesn't, I don't know. I'll stream it later. But I'm going to have to dig into this software. I don't want to waste any more time doing it. So let's dive right in. Let's first talk a little bit about what you started for with your business, right? So let me know in the comments why you started. If you started, for extra money, extra time, impacting people, what did you start your business for? Let me know. Give me something in the comments. I want this to be interactive. I do not want this to be just me talking at you. Give me some feedback here. But ultimately, more than likely, you either saw someone on social media that was talking about how they were waking up and seeing all these payments hit their account. And you're like, what the hell? I go to work every day, right? I get up and go to work. I'm exhausted. And these people are at home in their pajamas making money, right? Tammy said, started for extra money, but that changed. I love that. I love that you shared that, Tammy, because your why does tend to change. Okay. Your why will develop over time. Your why will shift. A lot of times we start for what we think is the money, and then we realize further down the line, it's about what the money can do, right? It's about what the money can buy. It's about the impact the money can make. It's about the comfort that money can bring. So it sounds dreamy because we see all of these people on social media talking about how they woke up magically to all of these sales all of a sudden. And it really is like, almost like you get this anger of, why is that not happening to me? Why am I working my ass off and that's not happening to me, right? And even though it sounds dreamy, it's absolutely possible, okay? It is absolutely possible. But I'll tell you, not without the right systems, not without the right workflows, not without the right strategy. Because what happens is, if you want to see payment notifications in your sleep, if you want to make those sales that you came into this business to make, if you want those people that you've never talked to before in the DMs ever to just add to cart and buy, you have to have automations in your business, period. If you don't have a system that handles the sales for you, you are the sales system. And what leads to that is you're capped. You have 24 hours in the day. So if your business requires you to be on 24/7 in the DMs and answering objections and handling all of the people that are like, woe is me, victimhood, you are the system. And I'm not talking about fancy tech. You don't need some big ass website. You don't need, you don't need to be a coder. We're talking about very simple automations can double your income, if not triple, quadruple your income without adding extra hours. And when I figured that out, because when I first started my business, I didn't want to use automations. I am an authentic person. I'm very transparent. If you've been following me on social media, that might be part of the reason you did click follow, because you're like, okay, this girl means business. There's no bullshit here. She's going to be honest, be real, right? So a lot of times that's why you follow. But the truth is, when I first started, I wanted to really own that. And so I customized every email. I customized every DM. And all of that led to was burnout and capping my income. There was only so many hours in the day. So that limited how many people I could serve, how many people I could talk to, how many people I could actually make a difference with. And I was very fearful of sounding like a robot, because I didn't want anyone to feel like, oh, she doesn't care. I'm just a number. So I held back from automation for way too long. And again, it capped my income. I got to a point where I could not respond to everyone. I could not handle every DM. And I'm telling you, even with automations, it's still sometimes like, whoa, there's a ton of DMs here. But simple systems made me more money and make me more money while giving me my life back. And today I want to talk about those with you because there's a lot of reasons people don't put automations into their business. And I talked about those last week. Usually they don't want to sound robotic. Maybe you're holding back because you don't feel like you're techie enough. You're worried you won't know how to figure it out. Maybe you tried automations and something went haywire and you're like, oh God, no, this is bad. But more than likely, it's because you don't understand what that little investment, that little expense can actually do for you. So that's what I really want to set that stage here. Because again, before automation, I was answering, because I kind of talked a little bit about, how I was capped with my income, but I want to break this down and paint this picture because more than likely this is happening to you. Can't we just add frequently asked questions to the website? You can. You absolutely can. But I'll tell you this. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad I saw that. When you cause more clicks, and this goes for any business, okay? Doesn't matter what you're selling, what you're doing. I did this in corporate for, brick and mortar businesses. Adding more clicks means people just hop right off. If I have to jump through 18 hoops to get to your product or get to your service or get the answer to my question, I'm out. I don't have time for this. So when you do learn automations, you're sending information right to their DM versus going, hey, go to my website, click this button, find my FAQs, scroll down. So I always recommend having FAQs on your website, on your link in bio, on your product. But if you're like me, I'll take me for an example, okay? Because you might be thinking, well, if they're not willing to find the answer, I don't want to work with them. I'm busy. I am busy as they come. There are very few people on this planet that are busier than I am, okay? I ain't got time. If you can't get me the answer, then you don't want my business. That's how I look at it. And so that's just me. Not everybody will look at it that way. But when you can have automations in your business that can do some of these things for you, it's going to ultimately double the conversions, double the sales, okay? So before automation, I was answering the same question 10 different ways in the DMs. I would get the same question over and over and over. And it was like the most annoying thing. And that is me being transparent. I was so annoyed by it. And the reason for that was because I was just getting started. So I didn't think, and now, moving forward in my business, obviously you might be on here today, first time you've ever seen me. You didn't see me answer that question 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 9 months ago. So you have to come in this mindset that every single person encountering your business is the very first time they've ever seen you. But when you're just getting started, it doesn't feel that way. I was so annoyed. I was like, have they not watched any of my content? And that is a bad mindset to be in. But I would also, even if they had watched my content, they would still ask a question that was like something they could Google. Okay. It annoyed me. And all it did was make me resent my business. I'm like, I am showing up every day answering DMs for people that aren't even going to buy. What a waste of my time. And that's how I felt. And you probably have felt the same way. Let me know in the comments if I'm not alone, because I know I'm not. You might not admit it, but I know I'm not. I was spending hours following up with people who were ghosting me. We know fortune's in the follow-up, and that's very true. And a lot of different ways to do this in your business through, email marketing, through, nurturing sequences, all of those things. But I was spending hours following up with people. Hey, just checking in. What did you think? Can I help you, add it to your cart? Can I help you buy it from me? It was like hours of people that weren't even interested. So I was not prioritizing my time with people who were actually going to work with me. And I was constantly feeling like I was on. Even when I wasn't working, I was thinking about working. And some of that still happens today. And that's because I love my business. And I always have, I'm constantly coming up with content ideas. I have a running list that's like 18 miles long. Creativity does not lack here. Okay. Because I take my experiences and I turn them into content. But I was constantly feeling like I was on. I would sit there and go, oh my God, I need to go check the comments and see if anybody needs that link real quick so I could hurry up and make that sale. I was living in this scarcity mindset of, if I don't respond to them immediately, I'm going to lose that sale. And you know what? I was burnt the fuck out. Burnt out. I was stuck at an income ceiling. I was never going to make any more sales because I could not get more hours in the day. But I wanted to make more money. I wanted to serve more people. And so for me, it was one of those pivotal moments where I was like, you know what? I got to figure this out. All these chicks over on Instagram claiming they're making all this money in their sleep. I don't know how they're doing it because I'm already not sleeping and I'm only making X amount of sales every month. What's the deal? So the truth is I was running my business on a hamster wheel, right? I was working harder, but not smarter. And a lot of it, again, was I didn't want to spend money on systems until I reached this level. And I just did a TikTok about this earlier this week, that if you're winning, W-H-E-N, you're not winning, W-I-N-N-I-N-G. I will do this when I make this much per month. When I get 100 clients, I will do this. When that is holding you the hell back. The best time to automate in your business is before it blows up. Before I go any further, for those of you that are on live now, I actually, all of December, all of my podcast episodes are about automation. So if you're not already subscribed to the podcast, it's free $99. You can do it on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you listen, it's on there, okay? You can search Socially Awesome Podcast, but I go really deep into a lot of these topics. But again, I was fearful to spend money on systems or softwares because of when I reached this, I would do this. And it wasn't until I actually had a mentor that was like, okay, well, you will never reach that point. You will never make those $10,000 months. You will never make those $20,000 months until you get that software. Because right now you're making $5,000 a month and you are working 24 hours a day. How are you going to get to 10? It's not going to happen. And it was just one of those moments where I was like, I feel so dumb. Why didn't I think about that? Right? Because I was stuck in the grind doing everything manually. I didn't have time to grow my business because I was too busy keeping it running. And so that's another thing that holds people back is when you're setting up systems or softwares or whatever, you got to set it up, right? That takes time. And that is the beauty of what we do in the online space is a lot of times with digital products, you set it up one time, digital courses, whatever, you don't have to do that again. That's done. But that takes time to do. And I was working so many hours in my business. How the hell was I going to find 10, 15 hours to set up these systems? I didn't have it. And worst of all, I was leaving so much money on the table because I wasn't following up fast enough. I wasn't consistent enough. So it wasn't until someone pointed that out to me that I was like, you know what? Okay. All right. I got to figure this out. Right. So I want to kind of go into these with you. But once it hit me, I didn't need more hours. I needed more systems. It was like a light bulb went off. And now in my business, I look for every opportunity there is for me to systemize something. If a robot can do it, I don't need to. It's that simple. If they can do it, I don't need to. And when you are in creator mode and you're working so much in your business instead of working on your business, that's when you get burnt out. That's when it doesn't grow because you're limiting it. You are capping it. So I look for every opportunity in my business for systems that work for me, even when I'm sleeping. I look for systems that follow up with leads without me chasing them like some unpaid assistant. The last thing I want to do, the last thing I will do is go back through every DM of every person I've ever sent my link and say, hey, just wanted to check and see if you're still interested. I ain't got time for that. I won't make time for that. I won't pay someone to do that because I want to work with people who know, who are ready, who don't need, and fortune is in the follow-up. People are busy. Okay. So I'm not going to lie. There's been many a times that I've clicked someone's link and then the kid needs something to drink and I stop, I put my phone down, I forget. So follow-up doesn't necessarily mean people aren't interested, but the last thing I'm going to do is chase somebody down in the DMs. I look for systems that help me nurture my audience and turn them into clients without spending all day glued to my phone. And this might shock you. It might even piss you off a little bit. I spend less than an hour a day on social media, other than Wednesdays when I'm live, because I talk so much, I'm normally live for an hour. Less than an hour a day. My business is not on social media. Social media drives people to my business. My entire goal of social media is to get people off the platforms. We don't even know what the hell is going to happen with TikTok. The last thing I want to do is my business to be on TikTok. We don't know what's going to happen with Facebook or any of these other ones, right? X, whatever. So if you're spending more than, I would say if you're like a year into your business, you're probably spending more, like 2 or 3 hours, hopefully no more than that. But if you are, it is time to shift. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. So let me tell you a little bit about what automation actually did for me. When I started putting automations in my business, and I'll give you some examples of automations here in just a second. Here's what happened. I doubled my income in 6 months. Okay, doubled it. I stopped wasting time on tasks that don't actually need me. Right? Every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's like, hey, I'm looking for your freebie because they don't want to actually invest. I don't need to send those links. My freebies are so packed with information that if they actually want to invest and work with me, they'll read that freebie and say, I'm sold. I don't need to send that link. A robot can do that. And I finally had the freedom to do the things I love, spending more time with my family, taking a day off, going to 4-day work weeks in my company. Best thing I ever did for myself, FYI. And go on vacation without being glued to my phone. For the first year and a half of my business, we would go on family vacation and I would have my laptop out the whole drive there, the whole drive back. My kids would go to sleep and I would go work. We'd go to Disney World and I'd go hide in the bathroom so I could work. What kind of life is that? That's not what I signed up for, right? Not what I signed up for. So really looking at this, and like I said, I'm going to give you some examples here in just a second, but a couple common automation myths I do want to talk about too, because if you haven't put automation into your business, there's a reason. You either aren't educated enough about it, and that's probably not it. You probably don't need any more information. You've bought so many damn courses, you don't even know the logins to half of them. But more than likely, you think that it's too techy. I'm not good with that stuff. I don't know how to do that. I'm just going to avoid it because it's not my thing, right? You think that automation is going to feel cold or robotic or people aren't going to want to work with you because of it. That was me. That was where I was in the beginning. So that's what held me back. And you might even think it's super expensive, right? Time consuming to set up. There's a lot of reasons. And I get all of those things. I thought the same things. But the truth is, automation does not replace you. And this is something I work on with my students all the time. We talk about these. I have several trainings in my academy about automation. Automation does not replace you. It amplifies what you're already doing and frees you up to be in your zone of genius, right? You started your business for a reason. And it was not to spend 24/7 on social media, right? That wasn't it. So it frees you up to spend time doing things that actually make you money. Could you imagine because I have 2 coaching programs right now and I have one-on-one people that I coach. Could you imagine if I spent all day sending links to people who weren't interested, how I would have time to get on calls with my students? It wouldn't happen, right? It wouldn't happen. So I want to talk today about 3 simple automations that can really help double your business. And then, of course, if you haven't already, you can grab my automation domination guide. It's in my Stan store. It's absolutely free. I go over, I think, 15 of my favorite automation tools that I use. Some are free, some are paid, but ultimately they're all worth it. Okay. Jacqueline, good question. So I will get to everyone's questions. Occasionally my ADHD pops in and I read one. Jacqueline just asked if I teach people automations. So I am going to have a automation advantage challenge happening in January. So if you're not already, and that we will be doing step-by-step, like how to put this in your business, what's important, how to know what to automate first, all that will be coming. I'm going to make the official announcement next Wednesday. I also have an automation expert that's coming into that challenge, and she's going to be teaching people step-by-step automations. So the best thing to do, if you're not already in Socially Awesome Entrepreneurs, my free community, be in there. They're always the first to know. But the official announcement will come next Wednesday with all the details. So this has been something that's highly requested. I'm glad you asked that, Jacqueline. So 3 automations that literally changed my life. Okay. Literally, yes, it will be super newbie friendly. Yep. And we even will have a VIP option with the challenge where if you decide to be a VIP, you'll get extra Q&As, and you'll also get a free trial with Carrie to work with her for, I think, 14 days. Don't quote me. Everything will be official next Wednesday. Work with her 14 days to put those into your business. So, all right, 3 automations that literally changed my life. Welcome sequences, number 1. I cannot tell you how many people's lead magnets I've gotten that I never hear from them again. Never hear from them again. And most of the time, people don't set these up, not because they don't know how, but because they don't know what to say. And that is the simplest thing you could do. The simplest thing you can do. There is a lot that goes into a lead magnet that actually converts. So if you struggle right now with your lead magnet not converting, it's probably not set up for success. Okay. Because honestly, I think the last metric I read was like 70% of people's lead magnets do not even get opened. Like they don't even open the email. Okay. So it's really important that you understand, 1, 70% of the people aren't even going to read it. And then 2, the 30% that do, if they never hear from you again, they forgot who you were, right? They forgot who you were. So every time someone joins my email list, they get a series of emails that nurture them, right? It's my story, it's my offer, my services, all kind of while I'm just sleeping. There are emails that go out at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m. I don't even know when they go out. And it's not just emails. I mean, this can be text, this can be broadcast, this can be done a lot of different ways. But if you are sharing your lead magnet with the world, if you're sharing it with your freebie with the world, and then you never follow up with that person, you never do any kind of welcome sequence, any kind of nurturing, it was a waste of email credits. That's what it was. It was a waste. They're 10 out of 10 not going to convert. Almost no one, and I'll have to look up a metric for this because I'm curious. Almost no one will convert from your freebie if you don't nurture. So you are wasting money sending emails, and you wasted a hell of a lot of time making content to push people to a freebie that's not going to convert. A welcome sequence is the easiest thing you can set up. And again, most people, it's not because they don't know how. It's because they don't know what to say. That's a bigger problem. If you don't know what to say in your welcome sequence, that's a clarity issue. That's an issue with you being aligned in your business and what you have to offer. That's a content problem. Okay. That is so much deeper on a deeper level. The second automation that changed my life was DM automation. So unfortunately, that's not available on TikTok that I'm aware of. If anyone knows any kind of voodoo magic, please let me know. I'd love to know, because I get all kinds of DMs on TikTok every single day. And it takes me a lot longer to respond to people on TikTok, not just because I can't automate it, but because I have to sift through the shit. I get so many damn DMs on TikTok that are like, hey, I see you're in digital marketing. When did you start your business? I don't know who taught people to send that DM. It does not work. It doesn't work. You don't care. I mean, just because you grabbed something out of my bio, what? Does that ever actually work? Matthew, I would love for you to chat with me about automated responses on here, because I'd be interested to know how I set that up. I know everyone's account's different. I know I have a lot of settings on TikTok other people don't have. And then I've seen other people have settings I don't have. I have not seen DM automation on mine at all. So I would absolutely value you 1,000% and give you all the creds if you tell me what to do and how to do it. But on Instagram, Facebook, all of that, DM automation. So when I make a post and someone comments a trigger word, sends them a DM, right? Sends them a DM. Stories, someone replies to my stories with a trigger word, sends them a DM. Someone asks an FAQ, sends them a DM. Instead of me answering the same question 25 times, a robot can handle that. I've had people book $300 one-on-one calls straight from the DM without me at 2 a.m. I've had people buy my programs straight from the DM without having me be present. It is possible. Okay. It is possible. So ManyChat is the program that I use on Instagram and Facebook. Again, you can get a 2-week free trial of it in my automation domination guide. And we will actually be going over some expert ManyChat sequences in that challenge. So make sure you're in the free community so you're first to know when that happens. But ultimately, I don't wake up to 1,000 Instagram DMs anymore. And my audience is getting better service because I don't work on the weekends. I don't plug in on the weekends. My kids deserve me. My content is scheduled. If I do show up on a weekend, it's because I wanted to, not because I had to. ManyChat, MANY. It's in my Stan store if you want to grab my free automation guide, and you get a 2-week free trial with my referral link in there. But ultimately, I'm not on the weekends. So my personal profile on Facebook, I cannot automate those DMs. But my business page, my Instagram business page, they're automated. So yeah, if you ask me a one-off question, that can't be automated. But if you're looking for my freebie and you comment on Friday and you have to wait for me to come back in and answer on Monday, you're going to be there all day, all weekend. And then by Monday, you're going to be pissed off, right? So it's providing a better level of service. It also does not cap how many people I can talk to. So rather than me saying, okay, I can only respond to 20 per day before I get put in Instagram jail, 100, 200, 500 people could get my freebie in one day without me having to do anything. 500 people could get the link to my paid service without me having to do anything. That is how you will double your income without doubling your workload. And I might have ever had 2 people be like, this is a robot. Cool. If you're trying to run a business, you need to get a robot too. Like, that is my response. Yep, sure is. This is my awesome chat bot. Have you put one in your business yet? Or are you still bitching that you're working so much? Like, that's my response. Seriously. Because at that point, they're not understanding why it's important anyway. So they're not someone I want to work with. Period. Okay. If you want to talk to me personally, if you want to work with me personally, if you want to be on a live call with me, I got programs. Get in them. I don't need to be in the voice memo with you hours and hours and hours and hours and hours hearing about your business if you're not willing to do something about it, right? So it saves you time, energy, consistent. I do know Garrett and Sylvia. Yes, I do. I do. All right. Third automation, the follow-up, right? So we talked about the welcome sequence, bringing new people in. We talked about the DM, bringing new people in. Now the follow-up. We know the fortune's in the follow-up. Okay. That's where your money's coming in. So when someone clicks my sales pages and they don't buy, my system knows, send them a follow-up, right? So that could be in the form of email. That could be in the form of text. If they put it in their cart and they don't buy it, they go into a whole other sequence, email sequence. If they click a link in an email and they don't buy it, puts them in another sequence. And it's not as complicated as you're making it. Again, people don't set this up because they don't see the importance in it. But if you had 100 people click your link this week and you put them into a follow-up sequence, you are 1,000 times more likely to make sales than if you don't, right? If you don't. And the beauty of it is you're saving yourself energy, because if you're manually following up with those people and only 10% of them are going to convert, you wasted your energy on 90% of them. Whereas if that's automated, you did nothing. You wasted no energy. So you really need to look at and compare, where are leads falling through the crack? Where are you leaving money on the table? Where is your income capped? And again, these are just 3 automations. I have automations for my content and scheduling and rescheduling so that I'm repurposing content. Only about 20% of the content I post every month is actually new. Shocker. I know. I have automations for my daily tasks. If you're not running your business like a CEO, your business is running you. So you need to have a daily method of operations. You need to know what you're supposed to be doing every day in your business that's moving the needle, that's making the sales. And you need to have systems for that. You don't show up to your job and say, well, I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want today. Some of you might, lucky you. Most people have a job description. They have a calendar. They have a schedule. They got meetings they got to be in. They got to be in a meeting to plan a meeting to plan a meeting. And there's systems for that. Your employer has put systems in for that. So you don't have to be some sort of tech wizard to start automating your business, okay? You just have to start. And I'll tell you, one of the sequences I talked about, ManyChat, one of the programs I talked about, I spend $25 a month on ManyChat, $25 a month, okay? That's it. I can't feed my kids at Taco Bell for $25, okay? Saves me about 6 hours a week on Instagram. 6 hours, okay? I charge $300 an hour for a one-on-one call. Do the math. I'm pretty sure it pays for itself. So there are a lot of automation systems out there. Another one, repurpose.io, one of my favorites, okay? Again, all of these, and I even have tutorials. I have show you how I use it directly in my business. It's all in my automation domination guide. So if you don't have that, check my Sand Store under Faith Tools and Resources, get the free guide, okay? I've done like tutorials and everything for you in there. But repurpose.io is another one. So repurpose.io, I don't necessarily take all of my content and put it everywhere, because some of my TikTok content's not made for YouTube, not made for Instagram. It's custom. But one of the best things it does for me is it backs up all of my content. For $25 a month, it takes every TikTok I make, every reel I make, everything, every YouTube video, everything, my podcast, all of it. And it puts it on my Google Drive. Because guess what? You have no freaking clue what's about to happen with TikTok. It might be gone forever. I don't want to get into that discussion, but we don't know. So if it does go away, what happens to your years of content you've been doing? It's gone. If you haven't backed it up, it's gone. Again, you can get a 2-week free trial of that in my automation domination guide. I would, if I were you, back up all your content now. I would get that 2-week free trial and at least get the content backed up. Even if you're like, this ain't for me, I'm out. But if something happens January 19th or whatever that date is, you've lost everything. Your content is your marketing it's your assets for your business. Do you know how much easier it would be to start over on Instagram or YouTube or wherever if you have a Google Drive full of content? A hell of a lot easier. And it does so many more things. Like it takes my podcast, it puts them on YouTube. It takes my TikToks, puts them on Facebook. All of that without me doing nothing. So it's a beautiful thing. When you embrace it, it's a beautiful thing. Okay. But I want you to imagine what your life would look like, even if you just freed up 5 hours a week. Repurpose.io. You can get a 2-week free trial of it in my Stan store under Fave Tools and Resources. Okay. Imagine what your life could look like if you freed up just 5 hours a week. Just 5. That's it. What would you do with it? I'd sleep probably, but what would you do with it? Imagine what your business could do if you followed up with every single lead. Imagine how much money you're leaving on the table right now because you're like, oh, I forgot to follow up with that girl with the red hair that commented on my TikTok 3 weeks ago. It's time to stop hustling harder. Okay. You do not get a badge for hustling harder. You don't get any kind of certificate, any kind of award for it. You got to start working smarter. And that means getting out of your comfort zone, because if you're not putting automation in your business, it's either because you're uncomfortable with it, you have a bad mindset of what it's going to cost you. That's the two things, pretty much. There's no other reason. No other reason. So again, automation isn't about replacing you. It's about building a business that works for you. Okay. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to answer any questions you had. And as always, if you got any value out of this, let me know in the comments. Drop any additional questions you got. I'm going to answer those real quick. If you're not already in my free community, Socially Awesome Entrepreneurs, you're going to want to do that, because we are making an announcement next Wednesday about our Automation Advantage Challenge in January. And I'm going to recommend 10 out of 10 that you join us in that challenge. If you've ever been in a challenge with me, a masterclass I've done, please drop in the comments. Let me know what your experience was. Let other people know what your experience was. But ultimately, I'm very tactical. I don't like concepts. Okay. I don't want you to tell me what's possible. I want you to tell me how to do it. Show me how to do it. Okay. And for me, I'm bringing in an expert. I'm not going to tell you her name just yet. She'll be live with me next Wednesday. But we are going to dive into what to automate first in your business, because there are some mistakes you can make with automation. Trying to automate everything at one time. You need to do it in phases. We're going to walk you through exactly how to set up automations, best practices. Again, mistakes you can make if you're over automating, right? So an example of that is if you automate all of your emails to everyone, people are going to start unsubscribing, because what happens is if you're automating and you're sending emails to someone to buy this product and they've already bought it, they're like, I already bought this. Why are you sending me this? And they're out, right? So there are some things that you want to know, best practices, and we're going to walk you through those. And again, I said, if you decide to do the VIP option, you will get extra time with Carrie and hands-on experience. She even has templates that you can plug and play ready for you into your business. So it's going to be absolutely incredible. Let me see. Tammy said, your challenges are loaded and awesome. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me make sure. Let me get through all you guys' questions. If you have any additional questions, feel free to drop them. I will get them answered for you. Uh-oh. Hold on. Who am I bringing on? Is it Cindy? There she is. Okay. Sorry, Cindy. That's the hardest part with TikTok, is the reading the questions. Okay. Let me make sure I got everyone's questions. Yeah. So if you have not, like I said, already grabbed, I don't know, I changed the color on here or something. Something just got wonky. If you haven't already grabbed the Automation Domination Guide, a lot of this is answered in there. Matthew, I'm writing that down. I'm going to look as soon as I get off of here, because I've had a lot of things on my TikTok that have disappeared and then come back. Like my repost button was gone forever. I don't know. Okay. I look for your community in the bio and I don't see it. So if you're wanting to join the free community, it is under Fave Tools and Resources. So all of my automation tools are under that section. All my free guides are under that section. And all the trainings I've done over the last 2.5 years, all the replays are housed in my Facebook group. So if there's a topic you're struggling with in your business, you can probably search in that group and find a training on it, all for free 99. Ah, you worked with them. I love that. Let's see. Okay, I think I got all the questions. Yeah, so do you teach how to do it? In my free guide, I do have some tutorials in there. I'm trying to think of all the ones I've got in there. So one specifically I know is in there with like repurpose.io. I show you my entire workflow. So I give you I set this up to go here. I set this up to go here. I have several trainings in my free community on different sections, different topics with automation, depending on what tool you're looking to use. And then ManyChat, I don't know that there's a training there about ManyChat, but we will be going over DM automation and templates and stuff like that in the challenge. And then if you're not already, like I said, subscribe to the podcast, I have been going into automation all of December in the podcast. And so a lot of this I teach you how to do on the podcast episodes as well. I want to barely work from home and be with my kids. Look, same. I get that 100%. And it's all about setting this up before your business blows up. And that's a big misconception. People are like, when I hit this, I'll do it. When I hit this, I'll do it. And what's going to happen is you're either going to burn out before you hit that goal, or your business is going to blow up and you're not going to be able to handle the business. And then people aren't going to want to work with you because of how long it took you to get back with them or poor service. So it really is about setting systems up before your business booms, before your business blows up. Okay, let's see. Let me see if there's any other questions I missed. Yeah, Matthew, I'm going to go look at it now. Do you help with rebranding? So absolutely 100%, Jacqueline. So depending upon exactly what you're wanting to do, whether it be you're like, okay, I want my brand to represent me better, or if you're like, look, I'm pivoting, I'm going in a different direction, 100%. We could either do that together one-on-one and like it's a lot, probably depending on how much you're shifting. Probably more than a one-on-one call, right? There's only so much you could do in an hour. But when you come in my academy, you get a 90-minute onboarding call with me. You get three one-on-ones with me. You get pocket coaching with me. So that is something that together you and I could work on over a 6-month period. Because I will tell you right now, doing rebranding has a lot more than just a logo. And you probably know that, right? It's not just like, oh, I updated my logo. Rebranding is your messaging. It is your how your persona is online. It is colors, fonts, all those things are important as well. And I'm glad that you asked that, because I actually just recorded a podcast episode for January with someone that is a branding expert. He particularly does a lot with actual in-person like media. Absolutely phenomenal episode. You guys are going to love it. But so if you want to shoot me a DM, probably easier on IG. That way I can voice memo and we can chat and see exactly what you're looking for. But 100%, like branding, I'm a certified branding expert. I don't know if that matters to you or not, but branding's my jam. 1,000% my jam. So I'd love to help you. I do. And I had to throw that in there, right? I got one of those certifications. So I did that a lot in corporate before I even started my business. And he said this yesterday. I'll share this with you guys. Not that it's necessarily relevant to automation, but It made so much sense to me, and I can't wait for that episode to drop. But and I knew this, but I didn't know the number. He said that 70% of buyers, so we're not talking about audience members, because we always talk about audience, but let's be honest, if all of your audience was buying, we'd all be billionaires, right? We're talking about buyers, people that are ready for change, people that are ready to pull their credit card out. 70% of buyers will invest with a company based on the owner's personal brand. So not the company's brand, the owner's personal brand. And I knew that, I just didn't know a number for it. And I was like, God, that's powerful, because it shows how people perceive the person, the face behind it. And it's not about what you say, it's about how you make people feel, always. So I love that. Perfect. Thanks, Matthew. I'm going to do that as soon as we get off. All right. You want to see the certificate? Hold on. I got you. 1 second. You don't believe me? I got so many of them, Cindy, that I can't hang them all up. Hang on. I got it. I'm going to show you now that you asked. Y'all about to see how messy my office really is. Hang on. Oh shit. You know what I did? I scanned them all in virtually. I will share it in my stories. I have I'm a certified master coach. I've got branding expert. I got more certifications than you want, to be honest. And nobody really cares. Nobody's ever asked if I'm certified. My programs are also accredited. I'm going to share them on my stories just because I want you guys to see. But I scanned everything in virtually. I'm trying to think if I should have kept a hard copy, though. I'm sure I did. Y'all go see it. I'm going to post it on my stories because now I'm like, what? Where'd I put them? Let me know if you have any other questions. I'd love to answer them for you guys. Damn it. I know I kept a copy of them. All right, my ADHD is going to take control. But you bet. I'm going to show them. Let's see. How do you become certified in branding? So I actually took an accreditation course. If you want to send me a DM, I'd be happy to share the link with you. I took it as soon as I came out of corporate. So one thing that I did in corporate was branding. That was a huge piece of what I did. Graphic design, branding for our digital marketing, all of those things. And I had this mindset when I first started my business that I needed to be certified in all of these things. You don't. Nobody cares. You just have to be good at it. But I worked really hard. I'm going to keep looking for them while I'm telling you. So that was like one of the first things in my mind was like, I need to get certified. People are going to want to know. They don't care. But I did. And I got certified in branding. So a certified branding expert. I got certified as a high performance coach because I thrive. I think I found it. Hold on. I thrive on productivity. So that is something that's huge for me. That is something I talk about. I found that's something I talk about a lot in my content. Stop being the creator and start being the CEO. That's really important. So I went through that course mostly to learn how to teach other people to be as productive as I am, honestly. And then a business strategist as well. And again, that was a lot of it for me. Those two weren't really about becoming certified. They were more about learning the process of how I teach those things to other people. And then one of the programs I went through when I decided to pivot from management to coaching was becoming a certified master coach. And so that one's up there. Let's see. And then let's see. So I'll show you. Branding strategist. Look, they're obviously so important to me because they were in a drawer. High performance coach. business strategist, and social media marketing expert. So again, I thought those were super important when I started my business. I spent a ton of money to become certified and no one's even cared. But if it's something you want to do, it's out there. And then one thing I did do for my business, though, I will tell you, and this most people, again, no one really knows or cares, but I still believe it was pretty important. I went through an accreditation process to have my programs accredited, fully accredited. So like when you go take a college course, it's accredited. And the reason for that is because there's so many courses out there, so many programs out there that people just create with ChatGPT, and you're just getting some Google jargon. And so when you go through the accreditation process, it's not just about what the content is. It's about if the person that created it has gotten the results they say they've gotten, the results they're promising other people. And so my courses are full, all of my programs are fully accredited. And I still think that's pretty important. It was a little penny to do it, but I want people to know I have the results. Everything that I teach is from my knowledge and not from Google. So, and don't get me wrong, if I don't know something, I'm going to Google it and I'm going to try to help a student, but you get where I'm going with that. I was just kidding. Well, look at that. You just made me dig through that whole, no, I'm just kidding. All right. Documentation beats conversation. 100%. 100%. All right, guys, I got to run. If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. If you did not get my free automation domination guide, it's in Faith Tools and Resources. In my Stan store, it walks you through 15 of my favorite tools. I've got tutorials, things like that in there that will help you. Make sure you're in my free community if you're not already. One, we don't know what the hell is going to happen with TikTok. So if you want to stay connected here, get my weekly training. I would probably be in there because we don't know what's going to happen. But two, we're going to be announcing the Automation Advantage Challenge next Wednesday. I'm going to tell you right now, it's less than a cup of coffee to join. So I would be in it because I'm bringing in an additional expert other than just myself to help you put automation in your business, to buy back that time, to buy that freedom, to double your sales in 2025. I can't wait to see who takes advantage of that. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye, y'all.